You are dying right now and you don't even know it. Every moment you spend unconscious, unaware, asleep in your own life is a moment you will never get back. And the tragedy, the absolute tragedy, is that you think you are awake, you think you are living, but you are not. You are sleepwalking through the most precious gift you have ever been given, your own existence, and nobody told you that this would be your greatest loss. Listen to me carefully. I have watched thousands of people, thousands, come to me with the same complaint. They say, Osho, I try to be aware, I try to meditate, I try to stay present, but I cannot. I keep forgetting. I keep slipping back into my old patterns, my old thoughts, my old suffering. And they look at me with such desperation, such hopelessness, as if they are broken, as if something is fundamentally wrong with them. And I tell them what I am telling you now. It is not your fault, but that does not mean you are not responsible. You see, the society you were born into, the family that raised you, the education system that programmed you, they never wanted you to be aware. They wanted you obedient, they wanted you predictable, they wanted you asleep. Because an aware person is dangerous. An aware person cannot be controlled. An aware person cannot be manipulated by politicians, by priests, by advertisers, by anyone. An aware person is free, and freedom is the one thing that every power structure on this planet fears most. So from the moment you were born, you were trained, systematically trained to be unconscious. Your parents told you, don't cry, don't be angry, don't be too happy, don't be too loud, don't be too quiet, don't be yourself. Be what we want you to be. Your teachers told you, sit still, memorize this, repeat that, don't question, don't think for yourself, just obey. Your religious leaders told you, you are a sinner, you are unworthy, you need to be saved. You need to follow our rules, our commandments, our dogma. And slowly, you forgot who you really were. You forgot your natural state of awareness, of presence, of aliveness. You became a robot, a machine, programmed to react rather than respond, programmed to survive rather than thrive, programmed to exist rather than live. And now, here you are, 45, 50, 60 years old, and suddenly you wake up one morning and you realize, my God, where did my life go? Who is this person I became? Is this all there is? And you feel this deep, aching emptiness inside, this sense that something essential is missing, but you cannot quite put your finger on what it is. You have the house, the car, the career, maybe the family, maybe the retirement plan, but still, there is this gnawing feeling that you have been cheating yourself, that you have been living someone else's life, that the real you, the authentic you, has been buried under layers and layers of conditioning, fear, and false beliefs. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a woman, let us call her Sarah. Sarah is 52 years old. She has been married for 28 years. She has 2 grown children who barely call her anymore. She has a job she tolerates but does not love. Every morning she wakes up, goes through the same routine: coffee, shower, dress, drive to work, smile at people she does not really care about, come home, make dinner, watch television, go to bed, repeat, repeat, repeat. She cannot remember the last time She felt truly alive, truly present, truly herself. She moves through her days like a ghost, there but not there, existing but not living. And the worst part, the absolutely worst part, is that she does not even realize this is happening. She thinks this is normal. She thinks this is just what life is. She thinks everyone feels this way. But then, one day, something shifts. Maybe her husband tells her he is not happy anymore. Maybe she looks in the mirror and does not recognize the woman staring back at her. Maybe she reads something, hears something, feels something that cracks open the shell she has been living in. And suddenly she realizes, I have been asleep. I have been unconscious. I have been wasting my life. And she wants to change. She wants to wake up. She wants to be aware. So she tries. She reads books on mindfulness. She downloads meditation apps. She goes to yoga classes. She repeats affirmations in the mirror. And for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, she feels different. She feels more present, more alive, more hopeful. But then, inevitably, she slips back. The old patterns return. The old thoughts return. The unconsciousness returns. And she feels like a failure. She feels like she is broken. She feels like awareness is something other people can achieve, but not her. Does this sound familiar? Of course it does. Because this is the story of almost everyone on this planet. And here is what I need you to understand. The reason you cannot stay aware is not because you are weak, not because you are undisciplined, not because you are broken. The reason you cannot stay aware is because you are fighting against 70,000 years of human evolution and probably 40, 50, 60 years of personal conditioning. Your brain, your beautiful, magnificent brain, was designed to keep you safe, not to keep you aware. Your brain was designed to scan for threats, to predict danger, to run on autopilot so that you do not have to think about every single action you take. This was useful when we were living in caves and running from tigers. But now that we live in a world where the threats are not physical but psychological, where the dangers are not external but internal, this same mechanism that once saved our lives is now the very thing that keeps us trapped in unconsciousness. Every time you try to be aware, every time you try to stay present, your brain perceives this as a threat. Why? Because awareness means change. Awareness means looking at things you have been avoiding. Awareness means feeling feelings you have been suppressing. Awareness means questioning beliefs you have held your entire life. And your brain, your primitive, survival-oriented brain, does not like change. Change is dangerous. Change is unpredictable. Change could get you killed. So your brain does everything in its power to pull you back into the familiar, the comfortable, the unconscious. It floods you with thoughts. It creates distractions. It makes you feel tired, bored, restless, anything to get you to stop being aware and go back to sleep. And here is the kicker. You have been doing this for so long. You have been unconscious for so long that unconsciousness has become your comfort zone. You are addicted to your own unconsciousness. You are addicted to your thoughts, your worries, your dramas, your stories about yourself. They may make you miserable, but at least they are familiar. At least you know what to expect. Awareness, on the other hand, is unfamiliar. Awareness is uncertain. Awareness requires you to let go of everything you think you know about yourself and the world, and that, my friend, is terrifying. So, what happens? You try to be aware for a few minutes, maybe even a few hours, and then your brain says, okay, enough of this nonsense. Let us get back to what we know. And before you even realize it, you are lost in thought again, lost in worry again, lost in the same old patterns again. And you think, see, I cannot do this. I am not good at awareness. I am not spiritual enough. I am not disciplined enough. But that is not true. That is just another story your mind is telling you to keep you asleep. Now, let me tell you something that might scare you, but it is something you need to hear. If you do not learn to stay aware, if you do not learn to wake up from this unconscious trance you have been living in, you will reach the end of your life and realize you never really lived at all. You will look back and see that you spent your entire existence reacting to the past, worrying about the future, and completely missing the only moment that ever existed, this moment, right now. You will realize that you never really knew yourself, never really loved yourself, never really experienced the depth and beauty and mystery of your own being. You will realize that you were so busy being who you thought you should be, who others wanted you to be, that you never discovered who you actually are. And if you are in a relationship, if you are married, if you have a partner, let me tell you what will happen if you remain unconscious. Your partner will sense it. They may not be able to articulate it, they may not even be consciously aware of it, but they will feel that you are not really there. They will feel that they are living with a shell of a person, a robot going through the motions, but not really present, not really alive. And slowly, they will start to disconnect from you. They will start to look elsewhere for that aliveness, that presence, that awareness. Maybe they will find it in another person. Maybe they will find it in a hobby, a passion, a new interest. But they will find it somewhere other than in you. And one day you will wake up and they will be gone, either physically or emotionally, and you will wonder what happened. You will wonder why they left. You will wonder why you were not enough. But the truth is, you were never really there to begin with. And here is what is even more terrifying. If you do not wake up now, if you do not start practicing awareness now, you will not only lose your partner, you will lose yourself. You will become so identified with your unconscious patterns, your automatic reactions, your conditioned responses, that there will be nothing left of the real you. You will become a walking, talking collection of other people's opinions, other people's expectations, other people's programming. You will be a stranger to yourself. And that is a fate worse than death. Because at least in death there is an ending. But to live your entire life as a stranger to yourself, to never know the beauty and the power and the magnificence of your own being, that is true tragedy. But wait, it gets worse. Because not only will you lose yourself and potentially lose your relationship, but you will also pass this unconsciousness on to the next generation. If you have children, if you have grandchildren, they are watching you. They are learning from you. They are absorbing your patterns, your beliefs, your level of awareness or lack thereof. If you remain unconscious, you will teach them to be unconscious. You will teach them that it is normal to sleepwalk through life, normal to suppress their feelings, normal to ignore their intuition, normal to live in constant anxiety and stress and dissatisfaction. You will pass on the same prison that was passed on to you, and the cycle will continue generation after generation until someone has the courage to wake up and break the pattern. So the question is, will that someone be you? Will you be the one who says, enough, I am done living unconsciously, I am done being a robot, I am done wasting my life? Or will you continue to make excuses, continue to say, I will start tomorrow, I will start next week, I will start when I have more time, when I am less stressed? When conditions are perfect, let me tell you something. Conditions will never be perfect. There will never be a perfect time to wake up. The only time is now, this moment, right now. Now, before you start spiraling into despair, before you start thinking, oh my God, I have wasted my entire life, I am doomed, there is no hope for me, let me stop you right there. Because here is the beautiful, miraculous truth that nobody tells you. Awareness is your natural state. You do not have to create it. You do not have to achieve it. You do not have to earn it. You already are awareness. You were born as awareness. As a child, you were naturally present, naturally alive, naturally in the moment. You did not have to try to be aware. You just were. But then the conditioning started, the programming started, and slowly you forgot. But forgetting is not the same as losing. What you have forgotten can be remembered. What has been covered can be uncovered. What has been asleep can be awakened. And that is what I am here to help you do. Not to give you something new, but to help you remember something ancient. Not to teach you how to be aware, but to show you how to remove the obstacles that are preventing you from being aware. Not to make you into something you are not, but to help you return to what you have always been. So, let us begin. Let us start with the first and most important thing you need to understand about awareness. Awareness is not concentration. This is where most people go wrong. They think being aware means focusing really hard on something, straining their attention, forcing their mind to stay in one place. And then they wonder why it is so exhausting, why they cannot sustain it, why it feels like work. Let me tell you, if awareness feels like work, you are doing it wrong. Awareness is not concentration. Concentration is narrow, tense, effortful. Awareness is broad, relaxed, effortless. Concentration is like a spotlight, focusing on one thing and excluding everything else. Awareness is like sunlight, illuminating everything equally without preference or judgment. When you concentrate, you are using your mind, your thinking mind, to control your attention. When you are aware, you are stepping back from your mind and simply observing. You are not trying to control anything. You are not trying to change anything. You are simply watching, witnessing, being present to what is. And here is the paradox, the beautiful paradox that will blow your mind once you understand it. The moment you stop trying to control your mind, the moment you stop fighting with your thoughts, the moment you simply allow everything to be as it is and observe it without judgment, that is when real awareness begins. That is when you start to wake up. Let me give you a practical example. Right now, as you are listening to me, notice what is happening in your mind. Are there thoughts? Of course there are. The mind is a thought-producing machine. It never stops. But here is the question. Are you those thoughts, or are you the one observing those thoughts? If you can notice a thought, if you can observe a thought, then you cannot be that thought. You must be something beyond the thought, something deeper than the thought. You are the awareness in which thoughts arise and disappear. You are the space in which all experience happens. You are not the content of your experience. You are the context, the container, the consciousness itself. This is not philosophy. This is not theory. This is direct, immediate, experiential truth. Right now, right this moment, you can experience this. Just pause for a moment and notice. Notice that you are aware. Notice that there is an awareness here that is aware of your thoughts, aware of your feelings, aware of your body, aware of the sounds around you, aware of everything. And that awareness, that witnessing presence, is who you really are. Not the thoughts, not the feelings, not the body, not the story you have been telling yourself about who you are. You are the awareness itself. And that awareness has always been here. It has never left. It has never gone anywhere. You have just been so identified with your thoughts, so lost in your mind, that you forgot it was here. So the first step, the very first step in learning to stay aware is to recognize that you already are awareness. You do not have to create it. You do not have to achieve it. You simply have to remember it, recognize it, return to it again and again and again. And how do you do that? Through a very simple practice that I am going to give you right now. I call it the practice of remembering. Here is how it works. Set a reminder on your phone or put a note somewhere. You will see it regularly that simply says, remember. That is it. Just one word. Remember. And every time you see that reminder, every time that alarm goes off, you pause for just a moment and you remember. Remember what? Remember that you are awareness. Remember that you are not your thoughts. Remember that you are the witness, the observer, the consciousness itself. You do not have to do anything. You do not have to change anything. You simply remember, and in that remembering, you wake up. You come back to the present moment. You come back to yourself. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking, that is too simple, that cannot possibly work. I need something more complicated, more sophisticated, more special. And that is your ego talking. Your ego loves complexity because complexity keeps you confused, keeps you seeking, keeps you feeling like you have not arrived yet, like you need more time, more practice, more knowledge. But the truth is, awareness is simple. It is so simple that the mind cannot grasp it. The mind wants to make it complication because the mind survives on complication, on problems, on things to figure out. But awareness is not a problem to be solved. It is a reality to be recognized. So start with this simple practice. Set reminders throughout your day, every hour, every 2 hours, whatever works for you. And when that reminder goes off, just pause and remember. Remember that you are awareness. Feel into that awareness. Rest in that awareness. Even if it is just for a few seconds, even if it is just for one breath, it is enough. Because every time you remember, every time you come back to awareness, you are strengthening that muscle. You are creating a new neural pathway. You are training your brain to recognize its true nature. And here is what will start to happen. At first, you will forget constantly. You will set your reminder. It will go off. You will remember for a moment, and then 2 minutes later, you will be lost in thought again, lost in worry again, completely unconscious again. And that is okay. That is normal. That is part of the process. Do not judge yourself. Do not criticize yourself. Do not think, I am terrible at this. I am failing. I should just give up. No, every time you remember, even if you forgot 1,000 times before, every time you come back to awareness, that is a victory. That is progress. That is awakening happening. Think of it like this. Imagine you have been asleep for 50 years. Would you expect to wake up instantly, fully alert, completely aware? Of course not. Waking up is a gradual process. You start to become aware that you are dreaming, then you start to question the dream, then you start to see through the dream, and finally you wake up. And even after you wake up, you might feel groggy for a while. You might drift back into sleep a few times. But gradually, you become more and more awake, more and more alert, more and more aware. And eventually, awareness becomes your natural state again. You do not have to try to be aware. You just are. But here is the thing, and this is crucial. You cannot force this process. You cannot make yourself wake up through sheer willpower. In fact, the more you try to force it, the more you will struggle. Awareness arises naturally when you stop forcing, when you stop trying, when you simply allow. It is like falling asleep. You cannot force yourself to fall asleep. The harder you try, the more awake you become. But the moment you stop trying, the moment you relax and let go, sleep comes naturally. Awareness is the same. The moment you stop trying to be aware, the moment you stop making it a goal or an achievement, the moment you simply relax into the present moment, awareness is there. It has always been there. Now, let me address something that I know is on many of your minds, especially if you are in that age range of 45 to 60. You are thinking, but Osho, I have so many responsibilities, so many obligations, so many things I have to do. I do not have time to sit and meditate for hours. I do not have time to go on retreats. I do not have time to become some enlightened guru. I have a job, a family, bills to pay, problems to solve. How can I possibly stay aware in the midst of all this chaos? And my answer to you is this: you do not need to go anywhere. You do not need to quit your job. You do not need to abandon your family. You do not need to move to a cave in the Himalayas. You need to bring awareness into your ordinary, everyday life. You need to wake up right where you are. Awareness is not something separate from life. It is not something you do in addition to life. It is the very ground of life itself. You can be aware while you are working. You can be aware while you are talking to your partner. You can be aware while you are cooking dinner, driving your car, brushing your teeth. Awareness does not require special conditions. It does not require silence or solitude or perfect circumstances. It simply requires you to be present, to be here, to be now. Let me give you another practical technique. I call this one the body anchor. Your body is always in the present moment. Your mind might be in the past or the future, but your body is always here, always now. So whenever you notice that you have drifted into unconsciousness, whenever you notice that you are lost in thought or worry or stress, bring your attention to your body. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. Feel the sensation of your breath moving in and out. Feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Just feel. Do not think about what you are feeling. Do not analyze it or judge it. Just feel it directly, immediately, without the interference of the mind. This is incredibly powerful because the moment you bring your attention to your body, you are automatically in the present moment. You cannot feel your body in the past. You cannot feel your body in the future. You can only feel your body now. So your body becomes an anchor, a doorway, a portal back into awareness. And the beautiful thing is, you can do this anytime, anywhere. You are in a meeting at work and you notice you are stressed. Feel your body. You are having an argument with your partner and you notice you are reacting unconsciously. Feel your body. You are lying in bed at night and your mind is racing with worry. Feel your body. Every time you come back to the body, you come back to the present moment. You come back to awareness. You come back to yourself. Now let me take this deeper because there is something else that is keeping you from staying aware. Something that nobody talks about. Something that is so deeply ingrained in you that you do not even realize it is there. And that something is your identity, your sense of who you think you are. You see, you have spent your entire life constructing an identity, a self-image, a story about who you are. I am a good person. I am a bad person. I am successful. I am a failure. I am intelligent. I am stupid. I am attractive. I am unattractive. I am strong. I am weak. I am a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, a professional, a failure, a victim, a hero. These are all stories. These are all identities. And you have become so identified with these stories that you think they are who you really are. But here is the truth. You are not your story. You are not your identity. You are not the image you have of yourself. All of that is just thought, just mental construction, just conditioning. The real you, the awareness that you are, has no identity. It has no story. It is not a person. It is not a thing. It is pure consciousness, pure presence, pure being. And the reason you cannot stay aware is because staying aware threatens your identity. If you become truly aware, if you wake up to your true nature, you will see that everything you thought you were is just a dream, just a collection of thoughts and beliefs and memories that have no ultimate reality. And your ego, your sense of separate self, does not want you to see that, because if you see that, the ego dissolves. The separate self disappears. And that feels like death to the ego. So your ego does everything in its power to keep you identified with your story, identified with your thoughts, identified with your emotions, identified with your past, identified with your future. It keeps you distracted, keeps you busy, keeps you worried, keeps you entertained, anything to prevent you from simply being here now, aware. Because the moment you are simply here, now, aware, without any identification, without any story, the ego has no power. It cannot survive in the light of awareness. It can only survive in the darkness of unconsciousness. And this is why spiritual work, real spiritual work, is not comfortable. It is not peaceful in the beginning. It is confronting. It is challenging. It is threatening to everything you think you are, because you are not trying to improve your ego. You are not trying to make your story better. You are trying to see through the ego, to see through the story, to recognize that you are not who you think you are. You are something infinitely more vast, more free, more alive. Now, let me ask you a question. Who would you be without your story? Who would you be if you let go of every belief you have about yourself, every judgment, every label, every identity? Who would you be if you stopped trying to be somebody and simply allowed yourself to be? Can you even imagine that? For most people, the answer is no. They cannot imagine it. It feels like annihilation. It feels like they would disappear. But the truth is the opposite. When you let go of your false identity, when you let go of your story, you do not disappear. You finally appear. The real you, the authentic you, the awareness that has always been here, finally emerges from behind the mask. And that is when real life begins. That is when real freedom begins. That is when real love begins. But to get there, you have to be willing to let go. You have to be willing to die to who you think you are, so that you can be reborn as who you really are. And that takes courage. That takes tremendous courage. Because you have been clinging to your identity your entire life. You have been defending it, protecting it, trying to prove it, trying to maintain it. And now I am telling you, let it go. Drop it. See that it is just a dream. And that is terrifying. But it is also liberating. Because the moment you let go, the moment you stop clinging, the moment you stop defending your false self, you will feel a lightness, a freedom, a spaciousness that you have never felt before. You will feel like you can finally breathe. You will feel like you are finally home. So here is another practice for you. I call this one, the disidentification practice. Throughout your day, whenever you notice yourself identifying with a thought, a feeling, a role, an identity, simply say to yourself, I am not this. I am not this thought. I am not this feeling. I am not this role. I am not this story. I am the awareness that is aware of all of this. You do not have to believe it at first. You do not have to feel it deeply. Just say it. Just remind yourself, because every time you do this, you are loosening the grip of identification. You are creating space between you and your thoughts, between you and your emotions, between you and your story. And in that space, awareness can arise. In that space, freedom can arise. In that space, you can finally discover who you really are. Now, I want to talk about something that is absolutely critical to staying aware, and that is the role of the body. Most spiritual teachings ignore the body. They treat it as something to be transcended, something to be overcome, something that is in the way of enlightenment. But this is completely wrong. The body is not an obstacle to awareness. The body is a vehicle for awareness. The body is where awareness lives, where awareness expresses itself. where awareness experiences life. If you want to stay aware, you must be in your body. You must be embodied. You must feel. Most of you are not in your bodies. You are in your heads. You live in a constant stream of thought, and you have completely disconnected from the felt sense of being alive. You do not feel your emotions. You suppress them, avoid them, distract yourself from them. You do not feel the sensations in your body. You ignore them, numb them, medicate them. You have become disembodied. And that is why you cannot stay aware. Because awareness requires presence, and presence requires embodiment. Let me explain this in a different way. Your mind is like a computer. It processes information, it analyzes, it plans, it remembers, it projects, and it is very useful for certain things. But your mind cannot feel, your mind cannot experience, your mind cannot be present. Only your body can do that. Only through your body can you actually experience the present moment. Only through your body can you feel alive. So if you want to stay aware, you must drop out of your head and into your body. You must feel your way into presence rather than think your way into presence. And here is where most people get stuck. They have been taught their entire lives that feelings are dangerous, that emotions are weak, that the body is something to be controlled and disciplined and ignored. Especially if you were raised in a traditional religious environment, you were taught that the body is sinful, that pleasure is wrong, that you should deny your physical nature and focus on the spiritual. But this is a complete misunderstanding. The body is not separate from the spiritual. The body is the temple of the spiritual. The body is where the divine lives. If you reject your body, you reject the divine. If you suppress your feelings, you suppress your aliveness. If you disconnect from your sensations, you disconnect from reality itself. So here is what I want you to do. I want you to start feeling again. I want you to start paying attention to the sensations in your body. Not just when you are meditating, not just when you are doing some formal practice, but all the time. Throughout your day, bring your attention to your body. What do you feel? Is there tension? Is there relaxation? Is there warmth? Is there coolness? Is there pleasure? Is there pain? Do not judge what you feel. Do not try to change what you feel. Just feel it. Just be with it. Just allow it to be there. And especially feel your emotions. When you feel angry, do not suppress it. Do not distract yourself from it. Do not judge yourself for feeling it. Just feel it. Where is the anger in your body? What does it feel like? Is it hot? Is it tight? Is it pulsing? Just be with it. Just allow it. And you will notice something amazing. The moment you fully feel an emotion, the moment you stop resisting it and just allow it to be there, it starts to dissolve. It starts to release. It starts to transform. Because emotions are just energy in motion. They only get stuck when you resist them, when you suppress them, when you judge them. But when you allow them, when you feel them fully, they move through you naturally, and you are left with a deeper sense of peace, a deeper sense of presence, a deeper sense of awareness. This is one of the most important things I can teach you. If you want to stay aware, you must be willing to feel. You must be willing to be vulnerable. You must be willing to experience the full range of human emotion without running away, without numbing out, without distracting yourself. Because every emotion, every sensation, every feeling is a doorway into deeper awareness. Every feeling is an invitation to be more present, more alive, more real. And let me tell you something else. If you are not feeling, if you are numb, if you're disconnected from your body, you will never be truly attractive to anyone. You will never be truly magnetic. You will never be truly alive. Because attraction, real attraction, is not about how you look. It is not about your age, your weight, your wrinkles, your gray hair. Real attraction is about aliveness. It is about presence. It is about being fully in your body, fully feeling, fully here. When you are truly present, when you are truly embodied, when you are truly feeling, you radiate a quality that is irresistible. People are drawn to you. They want to be around you. They want to connect with you because you are offering them something that is so rare in this world. You are offering them presence. You are offering them realness. You are offering them life. And this is especially important if you are trying to attract or keep a partner. Your partner does not want someone who is numb, someone who is disconnected, someone who is going through the motions. Your partner wants someone who is alive, someone who is present, someone who is feeling. They want to feel your aliveness. They want to feel your passion. They want to feel your presence. And if you are not in your body, if you are not feeling, if you are not present, they will sense it. They will feel that something is missing, and they will look elsewhere for that aliveness, for that presence, for that connection. So, if you want to save your relationship, if you want to deepen your relationship, if you want to create a relationship that is truly fulfilling, you must start by coming back into your body. You must start by feeling again. You must start by being present, because presence is the foundation of all real intimacy, all real connection, all real love. Now, let me talk about another major obstacle to staying aware, and that is your addiction to thinking. You are addicted to your thoughts. You are addicted to your mind. You cannot stop thinking even for a few seconds. And the reason is simple. You have been taught that thinking is who you are. You have been taught that your value, your worth, your intelligence, your identity all comes from your ability to think, to analyze, to figure things out, to solve problems. So you think constantly. You think about the past. You think about the future. You think about what you should have said, what you should have done, what might happen, what could go wrong. What people think of you, what you think of yourself. You think, and you call this living. But thinking is not living. Thinking is a tool. It is a useful tool for certain tasks. But it is not life itself. Life is happening now, in this moment, beyond thought. Life is the birds singing, the wind blowing, the sensation of your breath, the feeling in your heart, the presence that you are. But you miss all of that because you are lost in thought. You are living in a mental movie, a mental simulation of reality rather than in reality itself. And here is the trap. The more you think, the more you reinforce the neural pathways of thinking. The more you identify with your thoughts, the more you become addicted to thinking. It becomes a habit, a compulsion, an addiction. And like any addiction, it is very difficult to break. But break it you must if you want to stay aware. Because awareness and compulsive thinking cannot coexist. When you are lost in thought, you are not aware. When you are aware, thinking naturally quiets down. So, how do you break this addiction? Not by fighting your thoughts, not by trying to stop thinking. Because the moment you fight your thoughts, you create more thoughts. The moment you try to stop thinking, you are thinking about not thinking. No, you break the addiction by simply observing your thoughts without getting involved in them. You watch your thoughts the way you would watch clouds passing in the sky. You do not grab onto them. You do not follow them. You do not believe them. You simply watch them arise, exist for a moment, and then disappear. And as you watch, as you observe, as you witness, you start to realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the space in which thoughts appear. You are the awareness that is aware of thoughts. And that realization, that simple realization, is the beginning of freedom. Here is another practice for you. I call this the thought labeling practice. Whenever you notice that you are lost in thought, simply label it. Just say to yourself, thinking, that is it. Just one word, thinking. You do not have to analyze the thought. You do not have to judge the thought. You do not have to do anything with the thought. Just notice it and label it, thinking, and then bring your attention back to the present moment, back to your breath, back to your body, back to whatever you are doing. And then a few seconds later, you will be lost in thought again. And when you notice, you label it again, thinking, and you come back. And this happens again and again and again. And that is okay. That is the practice. Every time you notice and label and come back, you are strengthening awareness. You are weakening the addiction to thinking. You are training your brain to recognize that thoughts are just thoughts, not reality, not truth, not who you are. And over time, something beautiful starts to happen. The gaps between thoughts start to get longer. The silence starts to get deeper. The awareness starts to get stronger. And you start to experience moments, brief moments at first, where there is no thinking at all, where there is just pure presence, pure awareness, pure being. And in those moments, you will taste something that you have been searching for your entire life. You will taste peace. You will taste freedom. You will taste your true nature. Now, I want to address something that is particularly relevant for those of you who are in midlife, who are in your 40s, 50s, 60s. You are at a stage of life where everything is changing. Your body is changing. Your relationships are changing. Your career might be changing. Your children are growing up and leaving home. Your parents are aging or have passed away. You are facing your own mortality. You are questioning everything. Who am I? What is my purpose? What have I done with my life? What do I still want to do? Is it too late? Have I missed my chance? And all of this can be incredibly disorienting, incredibly painful, incredibly scary. But let me tell you something. This is also the greatest opportunity you will ever have to wake up. Because when everything is falling apart, when all your certainties are being questioned, when all your structures are crumbling, that is when the ego is weakest. That is when you have the best chance to see through the illusion, to see through the story, to recognize who you really are. Midlife is not a crisis. Midlife is an awakening, but only if you allow it to be. Only if you do not run away from it, do not distract yourself from it, do not try to go back to sleep. Most people, when they hit midlife, they panic. They try to hold on to their youth. They try to hold on to their old identity. They get a new car, a new wardrobe, maybe even a new partner, anything to avoid facing the truth that they are changing, that they are aging, that they are dying. But this is a mistake. This is a tragedy, because what they are really being offered is a chance to let go of the false and discover the true. They are being offered a chance to stop pretending, stop performing, stop living for others, and start living for themselves, as themselves, from their true nature. So, if you are in midlife, if you are going through this transition, I want you to embrace it. I want you to welcome it. I want you to see it as the gift that it is. Yes, it is painful. Yes, it is scary. Yes, it is uncertain. But it is also sacred. It is also holy. It is also the doorway to your deepest freedom. Do not waste this opportunity. Do not run away from this opportunity. Lean into it. Feel it. Be with it. Allow yourself to fall apart. Allow yourself to not know. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Because on the other side of this falling apart is a coming together that is more authentic, more real, more alive than anything you have ever experienced. And let me tell you something about relationships at this stage of life. If your relationship is struggling, if your partner is pulling away, if you are feeling disconnected, it is not because you are too old. It is not because you are not attractive anymore. It is not because there is something wrong with you. It is because you have been unconscious. You have been going through the motions. You have been playing a role rather than being real, and your partner can feel it. They can feel that you are not really there. They can feel that you are not really present. They can feel that you are not really alive, and they are starving for presence, starving for connection, starving for realness. So, if you want to save your relationship, if you want to deepen your relationship, if you want to create the kind of intimacy and passion and connection that you have always dreamed of, you must wake up. You must become present. You must drop the role, drop the mask, drop the story, and show up as you really are. Vulnerable, real, alive. And yes, that is scary. Yes, that is risky. Because when you show up as you really are, you might be rejected. But let me tell you something. If you are rejected for being who you really are, then that relationship was not real to begin with. It was based on pretense, on performance, on roles. And you deserve better than that. You deserve a relationship where you can be fully yourself, fully present, fully alive. And that kind of relationship is only possible when both people are awake, when both people are aware, when both people are real. And if you are single, if you are looking for a partner, the same principle applies. Do not try to be what you think someone else wants. Do not try to play a role. Do not try to present a false image. Just be yourself. Be real. Be present. Be alive. And the right person, the person who is meant for you, will be attracted to that realness, to that presence, to that aliveness. Because real attracts real. Presence attracts presence. Consciousness attracts consciousness. Now, let me talk about money, because I know many of you are worried about money. You are worried about your financial security, your retirement, whether you will have enough, whether you will be okay. And let me tell you, this worry is keeping you unconscious. This worry is keeping you trapped in fear, trapped in scarcity, trapped in the belief that your worth, your safety, your happiness depends on how much money you have. But this is not true. This is just another story, another belief, another conditioning. Now, do not misunderstand me. I am not saying money is not important. I am not saying you should not plan for your future. I am not saying you should be irresponsible. What I am saying is that your relationship with money is a reflection of your level of consciousness. If you are unconscious, you will relate to money from fear, from greed, from scarcity. You will hoard it, worry about it, let it control you. But if you are conscious, if you are aware, you will relate to money from abundance, from gratitude, from trust. You will use it as a tool, as energy, as a means to create and contribute and enjoy life. But you will not be enslaved by it. And here is the secret that nobody tells you. The more aware you become, the more abundant you become. Not because awareness magically creates money, but because awareness opens you up to opportunities, to creativity, to intuition, to flow. When you are unconscious, when you are trapped in fear and worry, you are closed, you are contracted, you cannot see possibilities, you cannot take risks, you cannot trust. But when you are aware, when you are present, you are open, you are expanded. You can see opportunities that others miss. You can take inspired action. You can trust the process. And money, abundance, success, they flow naturally to people who are open, who are present, who are aware. So, if you want more money, if you want more abundance, if you want more success, stop worrying about money. Stop obsessing about money. Stop making money your God. Instead, focus on becoming more aware, more present, more alive. Focus on developing your gifts, your talents, your unique contribution. Focus on serving, on creating value, on making a difference. And the money will follow, not because you are chasing it, but because you are becoming someone who naturally attracts it. And let me tell you something else about money. Money is energy, and energy flows where attention goes. If you are constantly thinking about lack, about not having enough, about scarcity, you are putting your attention on lack, and you will create more lack. But if you put your attention on abundance, on gratitude, on appreciation for what you already have, you will create more abundance. This is not some magical thinking. This is basic psychology. Your brain looks for evidence to confirm what you already believe. If you believe you are poor, you will notice all the evidence of your poverty. If you believe you are abundant, you will notice all the evidence of your abundance. And what you notice, what you focus on, becomes your reality. So here is a practice for you. Every day, before you go to bed, write down 3 things you are grateful for. 3 things that you already have, that you already enjoy, that you already appreciate. It could be your health, your home, your family, your friends, a beautiful sunset, a good meal, anything. Just 3 things. And as you write them down, really feel the gratitude. Do not just think it. Feel it in your body. Feel the warmth, the expansion, the appreciation. And do this every single day. And over time, you will start to notice that your attention shifts from what you do not have to what you do have. And as your attention shifts, your reality will shift. You will start to feel more abundant, more grateful, more alive, and that feeling, that vibration will attract more abundance into your life. Now, let me talk about something that is absolutely essential to staying aware, and that is the practice of meditation. Now I know some of you are thinking, oh no, here we go. He is going to tell me I have to sit cross-legged for hours and chant mantras and become some kind of monk. No, that is not what I am talking about. When I talk about meditation, I am not talking about a technique. I am not talking about a practice that you do for 20 minutes in the morning and then forget about for the rest of the day. I am talking about a way of being. I am talking about a quality of presence that infuses everything you do. Meditation is not something you do. Meditation is something you are. Meditation is awareness. Meditation is presence. Meditation is being here, now, fully, completely, without resistance, without judgment, without agenda. And you can be in this state of meditation while you are working, while you are eating, while you are walking, while you are talking, while you are making love, while you are doing anything. The question is not what you are doing. The question is how you are doing it. Are you doing it consciously or unconsciously? Are you doing it with presence or with distraction? Are you doing it with awareness or with automaticity? So when I say practice meditation, what I mean is practice being present, practice being here. And yes, it can be helpful to set aside some time each day to sit quietly, to close your eyes, to watch your breath, to observe your thoughts, to feel your body. This formal practice can help you develop the muscle of awareness, can help you recognize what presence feels like, can help you create a foundation. But do not make the mistake of thinking that meditation only happens when you are sitting on a cushion. Meditation is happening right now. Meditation is available right now. Meditation is what you are when you stop doing and simply be. Let me give you a very simple meditation practice that you can do right now wherever you are. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let go of all the tension in your body. Let go of all the thoughts in your mind. Let go of all the worries, all the plans, all the stories. Just let go and then simply be. Do not try to do anything. Do not try to achieve anything. Do not try to become anything. Just be. Just rest in your own being. Just allow yourself to exist without any agenda, without any purpose, without any goal. Just be. And notice what happens. Notice the silence. Notice the stillness. Notice the peace. Notice the awareness that is always here, always present, always available. That is meditation. That is your true nature. That is who you really are. And if thoughts come, and they will, just let them come. Do not fight them. Do not follow them. Just let them pass like clouds in the sky. And keep coming back to the silence, to the stillness, to the presence. Keep coming back to your breath, to your body, to the simple fact of being alive, being here, being now. And do this for just a few minutes every day. That is all. Just a few minutes. And over time, you will notice that this quality of presence, this quality of awareness starts to seep into the rest of your day. You will find yourself more present in your conversations, more aware in your actions, more alive in your experiences. And that is when life really begins. That is when you start to wake up. Now, I want to talk about something that is very important, and that is the role of other people in your journey to awareness. Because you do not exist in a vacuum. You are surrounded by people, by relationships, by social conditioning, and most of the people around you are unconscious. Most of the people around you are asleep, and they want you to stay asleep too. Not because they are bad people, not because they are trying to hurt you, but because your awakening threatens them. Your awareness makes them uncomfortable. Your presence reflects back to them their own unconsciousness, and they do not want to see that. So they will try to pull you back down. They will criticize you. They will mock you. They will tell you that you are wasting your time, that you are being foolish, that you are changing in ways they do not like. And this can be very challenging. But here is what you need to understand. You cannot wake up for anyone else. You cannot make anyone else aware. You can only wake up yourself. And when you do, when you start to become more aware, more present, more alive, some people will resonate with that. Some people will be inspired by that. Some people will want what you have. And those are your people. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. But some people will resist. Some people will judge. Some people will try to pull you back into unconsciousness. And those people, as much as you might love them, as much as you might care about them, you need to create some distance from, because you cannot afford to let their unconsciousness drag you back down. You cannot afford to let their fear, their judgment, their resistance keep you from waking up. This is especially true in intimate relationships. If your partner is unconscious, if your partner is not interested in awareness, if your partner is resistant to growth, you have a choice to make. You can either stay in that relationship and compromise your own awakening, or you can honor your own growth and be willing to let the relationship change or even end. And I know that is scary. I know that is painful. But let me tell you something. If you sacrifice your own awakening for the sake of a relationship, you will resent that person. You will resent yourself, and the relationship will die anyway, slowly, painfully, from the inside out. But if you honor your own growth, if you commit to your own awakening, one of two things will happen. Either your partner will be inspired by your transformation and will start their own journey of awakening, and the relationship will deepen and become more real and more beautiful than ever before. Or your partner will not be able to match your growth, and the relationship will end. And you will be free to find someone who is at your level of consciousness, someone who can meet you in presence, in awareness, in aliveness. And I know that sounds harsh. I know that sounds cold, but it is not. It is actually the most loving thing you can do, because a relationship where one person is awake and the other is asleep is not a real relationship. It is a compromise. It is a settling. It is a betrayal of your own soul. And you did not come to this planet to settle. You did not come to this planet to compromise. You came to this planet to wake up, to be fully alive, to express your true nature. And if your relationship does not support that, if your relationship does not honor that, then it is time to reevaluate. Now let me talk about something that is crucial, and that is the relationship between awareness and action. Because some people think that awareness means passivity. They think that being present means just sitting around, doing nothing, just watching, just observing, just being. And while it is true that awareness involves a quality of non-doing, of simply being, it does not mean that you become passive or inactive. In fact, the opposite is true. When you are truly aware, your actions become more powerful, more effective, more aligned. Because your actions are no longer coming from unconscious conditioning, from fear, from reaction. Your actions are coming from presence, from clarity, from intuition. When you are unconscious, you are constantly reacting. Something happens and you automatically respond in the same old way. Someone criticizes you and you get defensive. Someone rejects you and you feel hurt. Someone triggers you and you lash out. You are like a machine. Stimulus response, no awareness, no choice, no freedom. But when you are aware, when you are present, there is a gap between stimulus and response. Something happens, and instead of automatically reacting, you pause, you observe, you feel, you allow. And then, from that place of awareness, you choose how to respond. And your response is not a reaction, it is a conscious action. It is aligned with your values, your truth, your authentic self. This is incredibly powerful because when you act from awareness, you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are no longer controlled by your conditioning. You are free. You are empowered. You are the creator of your own experience. And this applies to every area of your life. In your relationships, instead of reacting to your partner's behavior, you can pause, you can observe, you can choose how to respond from love rather than from fear. In your work, instead of reacting to stress and pressure, you can stay present, stay centered, stay clear, and make decisions from wisdom rather than from panic. In your finances, instead of reacting to scarcity and fear, you can stay abundant, stay grateful, stay trusting, and take inspired action rather than desperate action. So awareness is not passivity. Awareness is power. Awareness is freedom. Awareness is the foundation of all effective action. And the more aware you become, the more effective, the more successful, the more fulfilled you will be in every area of your life. Now, let me give you another practice, and this one is particularly powerful for staying aware throughout the day. I call it the transition practice. Most people go through their day on autopilot. They wake up, they rush through their morning routine, they drive to work, they drive home, they eat dinner, they watch TV, they go to bed. And they do all of this unconsciously, automatically, without any awareness. But there are natural transition points throughout your day, moments when you move from one activity to another. And these transition points are perfect opportunities to practice awareness. So here is what you do. Every time you transition from one activity to another, pause for just a moment. Take one conscious breath. Feel your body. Notice where you are. Notice how you feel. And then consciously choose to be present for the next activity. For example, before you get out of bed in the morning, pause. Take a breath. Feel your body. Set an intention to be present for the day. Before you start your car, Pause. Take a breath. Feel your body. Set an intention to drive consciously. Before you walk into your office, pause. Take a breath. Feel your body. Set an intention to work with presence. Before you eat, pause. Take a breath. Feel your body. Set an intention to eat mindfully. Before you have a conversation, pause. Take a breath. Feel your body. Set an intention to listen with presence. Do you see? These little pauses, these little moments of conscious breathing, these little intentions, they add up. They create a rhythm of awareness throughout your day. They remind you again and again to come back to presence, to come back to awareness, to come back to yourself. And over time, this becomes natural. This becomes automatic. You do not have to remind yourself anymore. You just naturally pause, naturally breathe, naturally come back to presence, and that is when you know you are waking up. That is when you know awareness is becoming your natural state. Now I want to address a question that I know many of you have, and that is, how long does this take? How long before I am fully awake? How long before I can stay aware all the time? And my answer is, it does not matter, because awakening is not a destination. It is not a goal that you reach and then you are done. Awakening is a process, a journey, an unfolding, and it never ends. There is always a deeper level of awareness, a deeper level of presence, a deeper level of consciousness. So do not make awakening into another achievement, another thing you have to accomplish, another box you have to check. That is just the ego trying to turn even your spiritual journey into a project, into a goal, into something to strive for. Instead, enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy each moment of awareness, each moment of presence, each moment of being alive. Do not worry about how far you have come or how far you still have to go. Just be here now. That is all. Just be here now and trust that every moment of awareness, every moment of presence, every moment of being here now is enough. It is complete. It is whole. You do not need to be anywhere other than where you are. You do not need to be anyone other than who you are. You are already perfect. You are already complete. You are already awake. You have just forgotten, and all you are doing is remembering. And here is the beautiful thing. The moment you stop trying to get somewhere, the moment you stop trying to achieve something, the moment you stop trying to become someone, that is when real transformation happens. That is when real awakening happens, because you are no longer in the way. You are no longer resisting. You are no longer striving. You are simply allowing. You are simply being. You are simply here. And that is all that is required. That is all that has ever been required. So let go of your expectations. Let go of your timelines. Let go of your ideas about what awakening should look like, what awareness should feel like, what enlightenment should be. All of that is just mind, just thought, just conditioning. The reality is much simpler, much more immediate, much more available than you think. It is here, it is now, it is you. Now let me talk about something that is very practical, very important, especially for those of you who are dealing with stress, with anxiety, with overwhelm, and that is the practice of conscious breathing. Your breath is the most powerful tool you have for staying aware, for staying present, for staying grounded, because your breath is always with you. You cannot leave home without it. And your breath is directly connected to your nervous system, to your emotional state, to your level of consciousness. When you are stressed, when you are anxious, when you are overwhelmed, your breathing becomes shallow, rapid, constricted. You breathe from your chest rather than from your belly. You hold your breath without even realizing it. And this shallow breathing activates your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response, which makes you feel even more stressed, even more anxious, even more overwhelmed. It is a vicious cycle. But when you consciously slow down your breath, when you breathe deeply from your belly, when you lengthen your exhale, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest response. You calm your nervous system, you calm your mind, you calm your emotions, and you come back to presence. You come back to yourself. You come back to yourself. So here is a very simple breathing practice that you can do anytime, anywhere, whenever you notice that you are stressed or anxious or overwhelmed. It is called 478 breathing. Here is how it works. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 7. Breathe out through your mouth for a count of 8. And repeat this 4 times. That is it. 4 cycles of 478 breathing. And you will notice an immediate shift. You will feel calmer, more centered, more present. Your mind will quiet down. Your body will relax, and you will be back in awareness. And the beauty of this practice is that you can do it anytime. You are in a meeting and you feel stressed. Do 478 breathing. You are stuck in traffic and you feel frustrated. Do 478 breathing. You are lying in bed and you cannot sleep because your mind is racing. Do 478 breathing. It works. It is simple. It is free. It is always available. And it is one of the most powerful tools you have for staying aware. Now, let me talk about something that is absolutely essential, and that is self-compassion. Because as you start to practice awareness, as you start to wake up, you are going to see things about yourself that you do not like. You are going to see your patterns, your conditioning, your unconscious behaviors, your shadows. And the temptation will be to judge yourself, to criticize yourself, to beat yourself up. You will think, how could I have been so unconscious? How could I have wasted so much time? How could I have made so many mistakes? And you will feel shame, guilt, regret. But let me tell you something. This self-judgment, this self-criticism, this shame, it is just another form of unconsciousness. It is just another way the ego tries to maintain control, because the ego loves to judge. The ego loves to criticize. The ego loves to make you feel bad about yourself, because as long as you are judging yourself, as long as you are criticizing yourself, as long as you are feeling bad about yourself, you are identified with the ego. You are lost in thought. You are not present. You are not aware. So the antidote to self-judgment is self-compassion. And self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness, the same understanding, the same forgiveness that you would offer to a dear friend. When you notice that you have been unconscious, instead of judging yourself, simply acknowledge it. Yes, I was unconscious. Yes, I forgot. Yes, I got lost in thought. And that is okay. That is part of being human. That is part of the process. And then gently, lovingly, compassionately bring yourself back to awareness. Come back to presence. Come back to now. And do this again and again and again with kindness, with patience, with love. Because here is the truth. You are not trying to become perfect. You are not trying to never make mistakes. You are not trying to be some kind of enlightened saint who never has a negative thought or a negative emotion. That is not the goal. That is not realistic. That is not even desirable. The goal is simply to be more aware, more present, more conscious. And that happens gradually, organically, naturally, as you practice, as you remember, as you come back again and again and again. So be gentle with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. You are doing the best you can. You are learning. You are growing. You are waking up. And that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. Now, let me talk about something that is very important, especially for those of you who are in relationships. And that is the practice of conscious communication. Most communication is unconscious. Most communication is reactive. Someone says something and you automatically respond without thinking, without feeling, without being present. You interrupt, you defend, you attack, you withdraw. You are not really listening. You are not really present. You are just reacting from your conditioning, from your wounds, from your fears. But conscious communication is different. Conscious communication means being present when you speak and being present when you listen. It means pausing before you respond. It means feeling into what you want to say rather than just blurting out the first thing that comes to mind. It means speaking from your truth rather than from your conditioning. It means listening with your whole being rather than just waiting for your turn to talk. And here is how you practice it. When someone is speaking to you, instead of thinking about what you are going to say next, instead of judging what they are saying, instead of defending yourself or preparing your response, just listen. Just be present. Feel your body, feel your breath, and listen not just to their words, but to their energy, their emotion, their essence. Listen with your heart, not just your head. And when they are finished, pause, take a breath, feel into what you want to say, and then speak from that place of presence, from that place of truth, from that place of awareness. And when you are the one speaking, do the same thing. Before you speak, pause, take a breath, feel into what you want to say, and then speak from your truth, from your heart, from your authentic self. Do not just react. Do not just say what you think the other person wants to hear. Do not just defend or attack or withdraw. Speak your truth. Speak from presence. Speak from awareness. And here is what will happen. Your communication will become deeper, more real, more intimate. You will actually connect with the other person rather than just exchanging words. You will understand each other rather than just talking at each other. And your relationships will transform. Because real intimacy, real connection, real love, it all comes from presence. It all comes from awareness. It all comes from being real. Now I want to give you one more practice, and this one is particularly powerful for those of you who are dealing with difficult emotions, with pain, with trauma, and that is the practice of witnessing. When a difficult emotion arises, when you feel pain, when you feel sadness, when you feel anger, when you feel fear, the natural tendency is to either suppress it or to become identified with it. You either push it away, distract yourself from it, numb it with food or alcohol or television or work, or you become completely absorbed in it, completely lost in it, completely identified with it. You think, I am sad, I am angry, I am afraid, and you believe that the emotion is who you are. But neither of these approaches works. Suppressing the emotion just makes it stronger. It goes underground and festers and eventually explodes. And identifying with the emotion makes you a victim of it. You lose yourself in it. You cannot see beyond it. You think it will never end. But there is a third way, and that is witnessing. Witnessing means neither suppressing nor identifying. Witnessing means simply observing the emotion without judgment, without resistance, without trying to change it. You feel the emotion fully. You allow it to be there, but you do not become it. You remain as the observer, as the witness, as the awareness that is aware of the emotion. So here is how you practice it. When a difficult emotion arises, instead of running away from it or getting lost in it, pause, take a breath, and say to yourself, there is sadness, or there is anger, or there is fear. Notice the language. You are not saying, I am sad. You are saying, there is sadness. You are not identifying with the emotion. You are observing it. You are witnessing it. And then feel the emotion in your body. Where is it? What does it feel like? Is it heavy? Is it tight? Is it hot? Is it cold? Just feel it. Just be with it. Just allow it. Do not try to change it. Do not try to make it go away. Just witness it. And something miraculous will happen. The emotion will start to lose its power over you. It will start to dissolve. It will start to transform. Because emotions are just energy, and energy needs to move. But when you suppress an emotion, you trap the energy. And when you identify with an emotion, you feed the energy. But when you witness an emotion, when you simply allow it to be there without resistance and without identification, the energy moves naturally. It flows, it releases. And you are left with a deeper sense of peace, a deeper sense of presence, a deeper sense of freedom. This is one of the most powerful practices I can give you. Because most of your suffering, most of your pain, most of your unconsciousness, it all comes from unprocessed emotions, from suppressed feelings, from energy that is stuck in your body. And when you learn to witness, when you learn to feel fully without identifying, you release that stuck energy. You heal those old wounds. You free yourself from the past and you become more present, more aware, more alive. Now, as we come toward the end of our time together, I want to leave you with something very important, and that is this. Awareness is not something you add to your life. Awareness is not something you do in addition to everything else you are doing. Awareness is the foundation of life itself. Awareness is what you are. And when you live from awareness, when you live from presence, everything changes. Your relationships become deeper. Your work becomes more fulfilling. Your health improves. Your finances improve. Your whole experience of life transforms, not because you are doing more, but because you are being more. You are being more present, more aware, more alive, more real, more you. And this is what the world needs right now. The world does not need more unconscious people going through the motions, following the rules, doing what they are told. The world needs conscious people, aware people, awake people, people who are living from their truth, from their authenticity, from their presence. The world needs you to wake up, not someday, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel ready. Now, right now, this moment, because every moment you spend unconscious is a moment lost. Every moment you spend asleep is a moment you will never get back. And you do not have unlimited time. None of us do. Life is short. Life is precious. Life is fleeting. And the only moment you ever have is this moment. So do not waste it. Do not waste another moment lost in thought, lost in worry, lost in unconsciousness. Wake up, be here, be now, be alive. And remember, it is not your fault that you have been unconscious. You were programmed to be unconscious. You were trained to be unconscious. You were conditioned to be unconscious. But now you know, now you understand. Now you have the tools, the practices, the understanding to wake up. So the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you use it? Will you practice? Will you commit to your own awakening? Or will you go back to sleep, back to unconsciousness, back to the same old patterns? The choice is yours. It has always been yours, and nobody can make this choice for you. Not me, not your partner, not your family, not your friends. Only you can decide to wake up. Only you can commit to awareness. Only you can choose to be present. And I am telling you, it is the most important choice you will ever make, because everything else in your life depends on it. Your happiness depends on it. Your relationships depends on it. Your health depends on it. Your success depends on it. Your very life depends on it. So make the choice. Make the commitment. Start today. Start right now. Use the practices I have given you. Set reminders to remember. Feel your body. Watch your thoughts. Breathe consciously. Practice self-compassion. Communicate consciously. Witness your emotions. And most importantly, be gentle with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself, because waking up is not a race. It is not a competition. It is a journey. And every step you take, every moment of awareness, every moment of presence is a victory, is progress, is awakening happening. And know this, you are not alone on this journey. There are millions of people around the world who are waking up right now, who are practicing awareness right now, who are choosing presence right now. You are part of a global awakening, a shift in consciousness that is happening on this planet. And your awakening matters. Your presence matters. Your awareness matters. Not just for you, but for everyone around you, for the whole world. Because when you wake up, you inspire others to wake up. When you become present, you give others permission to be present. When you live from awareness, you create a field of consciousness that affects everyone you meet. You become a light in the darkness. You become a beacon of hope. You become living proof that it is possible to wake up, to be free, to be alive. So take this seriously. Take your awakening seriously, not in a heavy, serious way, but in a committed, dedicated way. Make it your priority, make it your practice, make it your life. Because this is why you are here. This is your purpose, this is your calling. To wake up, to be aware, to be present, to be fully, completely, utterly alive. And as you do this, as you practice, as you remember, as you wake up, you will discover something extraordinary. You will discover that the awareness you have been seeking, the presence you have been longing for, the aliveness you have been craving, it was here all along. It has always been here. It has never left. You just forgot to notice. You just forgot to look. You just forgot to be. But now you remember. Now you know. Now you are awake. And nothing will ever be the same again. Because once you have tasted awareness, once you have experienced presence, once you have felt the depth and the beauty and the mystery of your own being, you cannot go back. You cannot unknow what you know. You cannot unsee what you have seen. You are forever changed. You are forever transformed. You are forever free. So welcome home. Welcome to awareness. Welcome to presence. Welcome to your true nature. Welcome to who you really are. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The beginning of a life lived consciously, lived presently, lived fully. The beginning of true freedom, true love, true joy. The beginning of everything you have ever wanted, everything you have ever longed for, everything you have ever been. And it all starts now. It all starts here. It all starts with you. So take a breath, feel your body, notice that you are aware, and step into this moment, this precious, sacred, eternal moment with your whole being, with your whole heart, with your whole life. Because this moment